Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Edward Blanton with The Real South Africa.
And I am Dr. Latasha Blanton, also with The Real South Africa.
We have an amazing group trip that you will be interested in. It's with the African Diaspora News Channel, a great YouTube channel, gives you great information about what's going on in Africa. But we have a group trip featuring Phil Scott, the host.
And the trip is going to take place on March 16th through the 25th. It's going to go to Johannesburg and Cape Town, and It's in 2022. If you're interested in traveling, please send an email to info@therealsouthafrica.com.
And we'll see you here in sunny South Africa.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me do my checks real quick. Just give me 2 seconds, making sure I'm good. All right, I sound good this morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we got, it won't take too long. We have Sister Wangel in the background. I'll bring her up here in a second. But I want to thank everyone for joining us on this early morning live stream. And the reason why we're doing this live stream early in the morning, because we want to have Sister Wangel on the stream, and due to, the time here in Houston, time in Ethiopia. So we wanted to match that time when we can go ahead and do that. So first and foremost, good morning. I want to say good morning. I've been up all night. So as soon as this stream is done, I'll be carrying my happy self to bed, right? But I have more stuff for you guys to see throughout the day, of course. Now, without further ado, let me now our end of year fundraiser. Let me read off the names early, so I don't have to stop and do that unless someone decides to donate during the stream. Definitely want to thank the people that just donated here. I looked at Shantae. Thank you very much, sister, for the love offering. Chandria, thank you. Kristen, thank you very much. GK, I don't know what country you're from, GK, but thank you. Thank you for bringing the real news every day. You and your team, wishing you much success with the fundraiser and your platform as well. I said thank you very much for that. Faith and Andrea, thank you very much for donating to the fundraiser. As we said, that we depend on the people to make the platform happen. We do not get big sponsorship like that. So only the people could help the platforms rise and fall. So let me bring one of y'all favorite journalists on the platform, Sister Wangel. Let me get her up here on the screen here.
Hi.
Sister Wangel.
Hello. Thank you for having me today.
All right. It's been a little while. Let me go hit the comments button here so see who up here. All right. It's been a little while. Since me and you actually been on the stream together. I remember, I think the last time was before you kind of started with us, right?
2 years ago, like January will be 2 years.
2 years?
Yes.
Wow. I didn't realize it'd been that long, because I remember I saw on LinkedIn Elvis, he had it said 1 year. I said, man, what a time gone.
Yep, it does not feel like 2 years. It's crazy.
No, it don't feel like 2 years at all. Well, it's been 2 years too long. I mean, you hear all the time, but we haven't really done a stream together. So I mean, thank you for accommodating us. Now, Sister Wangel went through a lot of accommodations to do this stream today. She is at I actually went to the particular place that she's having this meeting at, and it's very beautiful. I don't know if you want to tell your location or not, but I'm gonna say it's a nice spot. So if y'all ever go ahead, Wangel.
Yes, it is a nice spot.
Yeah, it is. So if you ever have a chance to go. But with it being said, so the purpose we have in this stream today, and me and Wangel was discussing this video. Now, the video itself and correct me if I'm wrong, this video came out, around 2019 or so? 2018, 2019?
Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah.
Okay, 2018, 2019. So it's been a while. It's not nothing that came out in 2021. If you have not seen the video, I'm just gonna run it. And then after I run it, what we'll do is we'll run it again, but we'll stop it in certain points. And I want to ask Wangel questions versus how I feel, about those statements that he's saying. Now, I'm going to say this up front. I told y'all about that inner white supremacist that's in a lot of us, where if one person says something, we're going to discount the whole group. I won't do that with nobody. I'm going to just deal with that individual who said it, all those individuals who said it. And that's just kind of how I deal with things. So, Wangel, you want to say anything before I get started?
Well, no, let's watch it, and I'm looking forward to discussing this with you because I believe it needs to be addressed.
All right, let me get to it right now, and here we go.
በቆየው የአሜሪካ የአገዛዝ ስርዓት ውስጥ በጣም የተጎዳ የሚባል ማህበረሰብ ጥቁርና ጁ ነው። ሁለቱም ተገርፈዋል፣ ተጨቁነዋል፣ ታስረዋል፣ እንዳይሰሩ ሀብት እንዳያደረጁ ሆነዋል። ልዩነቱ ጁ ከሲቪል ራይት በኋላ ትንሽ መብት መታየት ሲጀምር ዘፈኑ፣ ግጥሙ፣ ፊልሙ፣ ድራማ ወደፊት ሆነ። እንዴት ዓለምን ኮንከር ማድረግ እንደሚችል ኢኮኖሚክ ፓወር መፍጠር እንደሚችል ያስባል። ጥቁር ደግሞ እዚህ ላይ ቆሞ ትናንትና ኮገረፉ፣ ገደሉ፣ እንዲያደረጉ ይላል። አሁን ያለው ትውልድ ትናንትና ውስጥ እንዲኖር አደረገው። እነዚህ ደግሞ አሁን ነው ነገ ውስጥ እንዲያስብ አደረጉት። 50 ዓመት አልሞላም ጁ ሀብታም ሆነ፣ ጁ ፓወርፉል ሆነ፣ ጥቁር ነፃ ደሃ ሆነ። ነፃነቱን አግኝቷል፣ መዝፈን ይችላል፣ ግን ደህንነቱን መቀየር አልቻለም።
All right, let me get myself back on this other screen. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it. We're gonna stop it now. I mean, some people seen this, and that's fine. Like I said, but let's break this down, because a lot of what he said was very uneducated on the way that, and we're gonna say white Jews have came to where they at, and then versus, let's say, Black Americans, and he's not even addressing the Ethiopian Jews. Okay, he's not even getting into that conversation. But before we get started, Sister Wangel, with this, let me put it up on the screen. Hold on, let's stop it. Anything you want to say before we get started?
Yes. I believe this is an unfair statement because it sounds like it's putting the blame on Black people, and it's actually saying that you guys are stuck in the past, when in actuality there's so many things to it. There's systematic racism, there's like it's an actual game that is rigged. So I believe it is unfair.
Well, let me ask you a question. What do you think? What like I say, I'm not telling you to speak for him or nobody else, but just your opinion.
Yeah.
What does that mindset come from? Because how Black Americans would view this is like, what did we do to him? We didn't do nothing to him. Like, so why is, and we get that sometime from, you know, even different immigrants. Some of them, they always got something to say about Black Americans. I'm like, wait a minute, why y'all always saying something about us? Like we don't even be talking about nobody else. You know what I'm saying? So why is it that he had to have this whole speech putting us in it, and we not even there to really defend ourselves, for one? Two, like, where does some of that come from, if you know?
I believe, in my opinion, where this comes from is an African that was born and raised in Africa, right? And that has never faced racism directly, white supremacy directly. When I say directly, for a reason. All of us face, you know, white supremacy indirectly, but not all of us, especially the ones in Africa that has never left our continent. We haven't faced the direct injustice that you guys face daily. So when this happens indirectly, we all know what kind of chaos they create for us, the civil wars, the puppet leaders, all the things that we are waking up to right now. They've been doing it for all this time, but for someone, in my opinion, and from what I've noticed, when people are born and raised in Africa and they haven't seen the cunning ways of this people, for them, they're like, didn't colonization just end 100 years ago. So why are we still talking about this? Not realizing or being naive to the fact that there are so many things that you guys have to face right now. Even me, I started learning and realizing and educating myself, I would say like 5 years ago. So it doesn't shock me that this kind of ideology is here because of our situation. But now things are different. We'll get to it later on. I'll discuss what really is happening right now on the ground. But until now, you can even compare someone like, let's say, my grandma and me. The difference between us is I have information, I have social media, I saw George Floyd die on that street. So there's a difference, there's a gap. But good thing is the younger generation knows better. The bad thing is the older generation thinks that the white man is his friend. For example, there was a speech that was posted a while back by Tunacheki. It was the former late president of Ghana, Rawlings. He was talking about how now it's dangerous. Back in the days, the white man was our enemy. We saw them as an enemy. Us, I mean Africans. But then after colonization ended and they started acting like friends and they're here to help us and all that, they started gaining this white savior. I'm sure you've seen it before. Like they act like they're our savior. So our people are like, wait a minute, they're not that bad. We can go forgive them and then move forward. So that became an issue. So as far as I'm concerned, this kind of ideology came because we're not facing white supremacy directly, even though we face it day to day. Our misery, we can literally direct point our misery at this moment as a nation, as a whole Africa, to them meddling in our politics, meddling in our situation, and making sure that we stay down where we are when they're looting from us and taking from us and using us. And not to mention the media and the mainstream media, they're telling us what they want us to hear. Hence, it's harder to bridge the gap because let's be honest, Philip, if you go to the media, even you on the media right now, and see what they post about African Americans, what we see on the shows, what we see on the music and movies, how are you portrayed? That's how they do it. And then when you look at an African, when you go to mainstream medias or like your commercials or movies, what do you see? You see that one kid, always that skinny kid with the fly all over his face. So for you as an African American that has never been to Africa or never came in contact with an African, you're like, oh, those things that live on trees and those poor people, right? And us, what we see is like, oh, African Americans, danger, 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 like with the guns, and look at them, they're filling the prisons. So there are so many things I feel like that they make sure they tackle it in every side. And for us, what we see is what we believe is the truth. So nobody will sit down and tell you which movie explains to you, which CNN or BBC explains to you what you have to go through day in, day out. Me, I had the privilege of reporting on these stories. Now I know, like, the amount of stories I've done on Black men arrested for no good reason. They're innocent. They haven't done anything. After 10, 20, 30 years, they let them go. The justice system's like, oh, sorry, oops, there was a mistake. But then gives them 1 million or 2 million, and he's supposed to forget about it. So when you dig deep and when you know and when you educate yourself, that's when you start empathizing, and that's when you start understanding what your brothers and sisters are going through. So ignorance, naivety, plus their cunning ways with their media, I think contribute a whole lot with our ignorance being added and saying things like this on national TV.
Yeah, it's a lot of ignorance, a lot of ignorance. And when you hear him say something like that, unfortunately, and it took me to even get to that point too. So I didn't arrive at this mindset I'm at now today, just in one day, right? We have been taught from the plantation, and I just think this is something in the Black world that if one Black person, do something, then we're going to write them all off. You know what I'm saying? But if a white person do something, well, they're an individual, and we don't write off the whole white group, even though we have a documented history. While we should have wrote them off a long time ago, Black folks would still forgive. Black folks would still be patient with them, no matter what they do to us. You know what I'm saying? And that's always my issue when things like this come up. You're so quick to say, "Oh well, forget all them Ethiopians over there." And then I'm saying, for what this guy had to say, or a few people had to say, you gonna do that? But why you ain't did it with the white folks? They the one killing you all the time. They the one putting laws up to jail you, like you said, to jail you. They stealing resources. They doing all kind of things. Because like even on the continent, oh, I don't like this group because I do what they do. You know, and it's just always something. It's the same problems with Black folk, no matter where they go. I've seen that. Like, you don't like this one because of that one, or this one, but it's the same freaking thing. That's why I say we need to get that raccoon gene out of us, that little inner white supremacist out of us, and actually, if we would treat each other like we treat white people, we'll be better off as a global community.
Agreed.
Seriously. So let me get started, and that's because a lot of this stuff he said is pure ignorance. It shows he don't know much, right? So let's start here, and I'll stop it. If it plays.
ከሲቪል ራይት በኋላ ትንሽ መብት መታየት ሲጀምር ዘፈኑ፣ ግጥሙ፣ ፊልሙ፣ ድራማ ወደፊት ሆነ። እንዴት
Okay, so the first part he said that, you know, hold on, let's back up a second. He said the difference is when Jews began to have some rights after the civil rights movement. Let's stop right there. In American history, Juan Gil, do you understand, you know, what the white Jewish people were before the civil rights movement here in America?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They had no rights. They had things that says no, not only no Jews, but they had things that say no Polish, no Italians, none of these other white subgroups. They wouldn't allow them either. If you wasn't white from here, they wouldn't letting you, right? Especially if you were white Jews. This is why a lot of white Jews were in the civil rights movement here in America. A few Jews have even died, you know, especially that famous one out of Mississippi when that Jewish civil rights worker was killed along with the two brothers in Mississippi. And that, you know, I don't know if you saw the movie Mississippi Burning and all things like that. So what he said prior to that is the white Jewish community would have never got any kind of rights that they got today if it wasn't been for Black America. So why would he make a statement like that? He said their songs, their poems, films, dramas became forward thinking. Okay. Then the next thing he says here, hold on, let me fast forward it. Let me get to it. Sorry. How they Jews would be able to conquer the world, how they would create economic power. So is this like a thought process, like maybe, you know, somewhere in the elite circles or what? I was trying to find out.
This one's.
Yeah. Oh, those elite, those people. I was trying to find out what is their thought process about how the white Jewish community came to where they're at today. I mean, do they really know?
I'm not sure.
Because I mean, if you studied world history, right? That's why I say it's so ignorant what he had to say. Because after this, say World War II, even that portion, right? Germany ended up giving a reparations to the Jewish community. And America, even though America had nothing to do with the Holocaust, Adolf Hitler, anything, they gave money too. Now, they still to this day in Israel get money from Germany, and the United States give them, you know, billions of our tax dollars for defense and anything else they want to use the money for, right? But then let's talk about the Ethiopian Jews. Do you know the stories about the Ethiopian Jews?
Yes.
Well, tell people about a little of those stories, because maybe you have covered them. But what do you know about the Ethiopian Jews and how they treated in Israel?
Ooh, There are so many protests until, so many complaints, because the same way African Americans are being treated in America, the Black Jews, which are basically Ethiopian, but like ancestrally they say they're Jews, they get treated the exact same way. I remember there was a protest last year, 2 years ago. The police killed a kid basically because he's black, because he was a black Jew, and they get discriminated against. They complain a lot about mistreatment, and they're not seen as actual Jews in Israel.
Yeah, and they also, what they're doing to Ethiopian Jews, they have sterilized
Oh
Ethiopian
yeah,
women.
that's true. That's true. It was a report that came out last year.
And they're unjustly jailing Ethiopian people.
That's also true.
You know what I'm saying? So why isn't he addressing that whole story, what's going on, to even his own, countrymen and countrywomen? See, this is why I'm saying it's a lot of ignorance that's going on in the Black world. I mean, it doesn't take not even just a short Google search will teach you some of these things. Okay. So when he mentioned that about economic power, well, when you getting this much money constantly, even to this day, and they are a very protected group, right? So Black Americans are still asking and wanting to, like, hate crime protections, etc. That particular group is protected. That group and the LGBT, those are very, very protected groups here in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon made one comment that they didn't agree with, and Nick Cannon was apologizing for a year.
Yeah,
You remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah. And how did they get to that point where they can have people apologizing for a year? They took their reparations and they applied their reparations to business, right? They, if you say one thing wrong that they disagree with about their history or anything, right? Even if you say what he said in the speech, they would call him anti-Semitic for saying that they conquered the world. They will say he's an anti-Semite. Understand what I'm saying? See, so he don't even realize at that moment his speech would be called anti-Semitic, according to what they would say to him, right? Black Americans have not received reparations. We have not received it. But let me continue though, Sister Wangil, and I'll just keep asking some questions. Let me fast forward just with the words. You say, but blacks stood there lamenting, yesterday they beat us, they killed us, and so on. I don't know what's so funny about that. Let's see here. But making the current generation of black people live in the past, and the Jews made their people think about the future. So why does he think that we live in the past and the Jewish community just live in the future? I mean, could you maybe explain that part? Maybe I don't understand from his point of view.
Yeah, I think he is referring to maybe the songs we hear or the movies. If you've noticed, a lot of movies that come out are, about slavery. You don't see as many Holocaust movies, at least I'm not aware. Hollywood, when they back them up, it usually comes to Africa cinemas as well, like African country cinemas as well. So the only thing I get from this is maybe he's referring to the entertainment of it, or I'm really not sure. That's the one thing that comes to mind why he might have said this.
Well, I mean, he mentioned Black Americans staying in the past. The Jewish community's past, once they had got reparations, they even created Israel. Israel wasn't even a nation. That was Palestine prior to 1948. And they set that group of people there, and then they started injecting all kind of money there to take over that land of Palestine to create Israel. Okay. Black Americans haven't had that. Well, you say, okay, other than, okay, we could talk about Liberia, but even talking about Liberia, if they would have said, okay, Black Americans, y'all can go to Liberia and we're going to give you billions of dollars a year, right? Billions of dollars to make sure Liberia is defended. Liberia, have infrastructure. We're going to be an ally with y'all to make sure nobody attack y'all militarily. with Liberia. Black Americans would be in the same position, or if we wanted to go to Liberia, Liberia would be in the same position. If we had that much capital injected into, let's say, Liberia, right? Because that's like the country that Black Americans went to when they had a program with Abraham Lincoln in our history where he said, okay, after slavery, hey, if those of you who want to go back to the continent, hey, you can go. So there's brothers and sisters say, hell yeah, I'm out of here. I ain't staying here, right? And then they were shipping them back. They were paying, I think, up to $500 a person through the U.S. government. But then that program, after Lincoln got killed, got shut down. And I said, And I always had that question. Why is it we didn't have no rights? So why is it they just ship us all back to Liberia? Because we had no rights back in that time period. So anyway, if you say anything like we talked about earlier, negative about the Holocaust or whatever, the Jewish community be on your butt. So I don't know what he's talking about, like the future. You know what I'm saying? And I know he comes from an elitist standpoint, because the good thing about me going to the continent of Africa, the one thing Wangel is referring to is right. Most people are so ignorant about history. And it's not ignorant because they want to be. It's just like in school, they didn't teach you no American history, right?
No.
Nothing about Black people at all in school.
Well, it stops where they were taken from Africa.
But not what happened when we got here.
No, not in details, at least.
Okay, so, but y'all didn't know about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, or what did y'all? There's nothing at all. Just we were just taken away.
We learned that through movies and us wanting to know more.
Okay, so Hollywood, got it.
Hollywood, exactly.
Got it. Which is a bad place to learn about anybody. Okay, so he says in less than 50 years, Jews became prosperous, Jews became powerful, Blacks became free and poor. Once again, we talked about this a little earlier. If you gave matter of fact, Black people, I think globally, are so innovative. And I know you've probably seen the videos even out of Nigeria or different ones where you see little kids making all kind of inventions with no money, right? Now, if you give Black Americans the same thing, you give us some money, we gonna innovate. And this is the two things that they try to keep us from is the art of business and the art of war, right? And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had taught that. So they do not want us to know and have money. This is why Black business suffers so much, because it's like they don't want us to have money. If we had the same money that the Jewish community, had access to, we would not only be at the same level, I believe we would be actually above, because we know how to do a lot more with a lot less. If you look at like America, I don't know if you know about the inventions in America. Black Americans has innovated America and innovated the world. So I don't know why he say that. I mean, if you look at when you're in Ethiopia, right? Don't y'all got traffic lights? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Black Americans did that. So that is something that we did that he, okay, in the military, don't they got gas masks?
Yep.
Black Americans did that. Don't they have refrigerated trucks in Ethiopia?
Yep.
Black Americans did that. I can go through so many things. Don't they got home security systems in different places?
Yeah.
Black Americans did that. I can start pointing things even in his own country that Black Americans have innovated the world, right? And that's why for people that know the history, he sounds so ignorant, but this is the problem that I have that he talked about here as I keep going. He said the Black man has gotten his freedom. He can sing, but he cannot get out of poverty. Now, Sister Wangel, he shouldn't be talking at all. Because we all globally dealing with a form of poverty, but he's a world leader. Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there poverty even in his own nation?
Of course.
Okay. So he being a world leader, he can correct that. So why hasn't he corrected the poverty in his own backyard, but he's focusing on us? I'm just I just want to understand it. That's why I asked you to be here. I'm just asking for understanding.
No problem. But to put things into context, I believe this was taken from him making a speech about let's not focus on our history and let's move forward because of the, tribal issues that are in Ethiopia, and people are saying this one wronged me and that one wronged me, and they keep complaining, and they were not able to unify. So what, from my understanding, when he was making this speech, he happened to give an example of Jews and African Americans. So he was saying, let's not focus on what happened, and then let's focus on what we can do in the future. Although I believe the delivery, the example, and all of that, I do not agree with, and I don't think he was making that statement based on facts. He was talking about it based on what we were told of what your situation is. So as you ask me why he's saying all this stuff about poverty, it is because what he was saying is let's focus on the future and fix the poverty situation that we as Ethiopians have. And then he gave an example of African Americans.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to get a clear understanding, like why he was saying that, because like I said, I've been there. I've seen the poverty. Like I have to be honest. First, what they call, and I hate that terminology, but I was going to use it. Poverty in America and poverty in the certain rural areas of Ethiopia is not the same.
Of course,
it's not. People in America say they poor, but they walk around with a $1,200 iPhone. People say in America they poor and they walk around with the latest Jordans. They look clean as a whistle. Their hair be done, but they say they poor. No, they have poor spending habits a lot of times, and they have a poor way they appropriate funds. But like in America, I mean, I'll be honest with you, some of the worst, like I say, ghetto. I think ghettos is considered luxury from what I've seen, right? So I understand people are going to be poor, and it's not the people's fault. It's the government's fault. I know that. I know,
and it's the white man's fault as well. It's because that's the main issue, Philip. The main issue is we as a people are not realizing whose fault it is, who is indirectly impacting us. The poverty we see.
Yeah, the white supremacist got his hand in it, that's for sure. Yeah. But at the same time, like I talk about the politicians here in America, the politicians on the African continent, what are they doing with the billions of dollars that they get from America? Because even Ethiopia has gotten millions at least from America. If you go to the USAID website, they will show you how many millions of dollars or even billions of dollars they give out to every foreign country. America gives so much money out to these countries. They don't even give it to us like that as American citizens. So you look at, like, even recently they talked about Ghana, right? Got all this money from some European investment bank because they're putting in the COVID, protocols, right? So where did the $83 million go, right? So that's the big problem that you have. I see with certain leaders. It's like the money is given for the people, but it doesn't move down to the people.
Yeah, and also, you know what? They know the US aid or all those countries, Western nations, when they give money, they know exactly what they're doing. They know it's not going to reach the people. That's basically their payment to the leaders for being puppets. Like, how can they not know, Philip? Like, they have all this intelligence and they have all these resources, but then again, they don't know. I doubt it. That the reason why they give us all that money is because they want to control us and tell us that I've been giving you this money, so do this. And it's like a reward for the puppets.
Right. And I think a while back we covered a white gentleman was talking about that their foreign policy is to keep the African continent poor. They got to keep it poor to benefit off of it. They can't let it come out of that. And yes, the white supremacists will make sure to try their best. Like right now in Ethiopia, and maybe you could tell me the climate right now. Well, you told me, but I want you to tell the people what is the climate now when it comes to talking about, you know, the white supremacists and what he's doing? What's the attitude now? Because I'm pretty sure his attitude would change. Has probably changed this year.
Ooh, I'm sure it has changed. I am 100% sure that it has changed, not just from his side, but also the average people you meet in the cab, on the street, getting service. Like, you don't even have to raise that topic. They start talking to you and they're like, ooh, this white people. Like, when I tell you there's a anti-white sentiment really rising up in Ethiopia. I'm seeing it daily. I'm meeting people daily that want to talk about this without me raising it up. Back in the days, I might be the one, trying to explain things or give them facts or, situation in the US. But now I don't even have to start the conversation. They started themselves. They are really waking up. Unfortunately, we had to go through something for us to really see what you guys are going through. That's really unfortunate, but sometimes experience is the best teacher, and people have realized that the white man is not your friend, basically. And people are so against especially white Americans, and are starting to understand what you meant by, when you are talking about what is happening on the ground. Now it's more believable, because like, if they can do this to someone outside, like to a different continent, go to that country and try to destabilize a country for no good reason. Well, they have their reasons, but when they try to do that now, it's like, oh, wait a minute, what are they doing to the diaspora community that is living amongst them? So it's now a lot of people, I would say majority of people, they have opened their eyes and they're so shocked. They could not, it's weird being on my side and just watching everything happen, because I told you before, I think I did a report when Biden became president. A lot of Ethiopians were celebrating it because Trump said, blow up the dam, if you remember, when he was talking to Egypt and stuff. So they thought the problem was just Trump, not realizing another leader is just going to serve those people, the same people. So when he came to power, people were celebrating. And I remember telling them, no, just relax. Yes, there might be policy here and there. There's a difference, some kind of difference, but they serve their own. But nobody listened to me. Biden came and he turned out to be worse, at least during Trump time. As much as he was annoying, he didn't push too much in African countries. Yes, he did. But if you compare them, Biden literally just is forcing people to accept LGBTQ. Otherwise, he'll stop the aid. He's just in everybody's business. So it turns out Biden was worse. So people are now starting to realize that they're not our friends, which is a good thing, because if we stop seeing them for what they are, then that's when the issue begins. The same way our grandparents and our parents didn't realize what is really going on in America for them to say this kind of ignorant comments.
Well, I'm going to address something real quick. Something that even though the comment was deleted, I still got to see it. I asked Juan Gill to ask about what the opinion is of the prime minister. Have I ever told you to denounce the prime minister in any part of the time we've been talking today?
Denounce the president?
The prime minister, not the president. Did I ask you to
the prime minister? No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't ask you that, because I wouldn't actually do anything like that. We're talking about what he said. He put it in the public. I asked her, because let's say if she made the video, right, by herself, then, and if I wasn't around or some Black American wasn't around when this was being talked about, he's going to say, oh, she's just trying to defend him. Oh, she's trying to. So I said, let's do it together. And maybe I could ask her, because she understands the culture. She grew up there. She's there right now, right? So let's have her to get maybe a balanced opinion. Now, I understand I know more of the history because I'm from this side, right? And that's just what I do. So that's why I kind of wanted, her on here, just as much as we talk about in her country. Like, I don't really like was even the war thing that's going on, and how she's talking about Biden, how the guy from the TPLF has said Biden and them the one told them to go and attack the government. Right now, for me, the people in Tigray is the one that welcomed me in. They told me welcome home. They hugged me and everything and say, brother, you know, this is where you belong. Why don't you come move here with us? Right. So it made me very sad to hear that going on both sides. You know what I'm saying? So don't come here try to start no crap. I'm glad Great Black Shark did what he did in the comment section, but no.
Yeah.
We can have
And
conversations. Go ahead, Wangel.
yeah, and let me just say this. We're talking about a comment he made. We're talking about this specific video. Nobody's denouncing Prime Minister Abiy right now, because at this moment in time, Prime Minister Abiy is doing a lot for our country, and we appreciate that. And people can have 10 opinions, and we might not agree with 10 of the things that they are saying. We're talking about a specific thing that he said about Black Americans. We're not here to denounce him totally. We are talking about a comment he made, and we understand that this comment is not just with him. Some people believe this way, but we're trying to understand, or Philip is trying to understand, where this comment might come from, and I am bringing him that perspective to understand where it might have come from and how we can fix it. Because at the end of the day, this is not being evil, it's about being ignorant, and we're trying to fix that so that we bridge the gap between the diaspora community and the African community.
Correct, because like I said, just like here in America, we wouldn't like if people treat us a certain way in America because of what Jim Crow Joe was doing, right? You're like, I ain't got nothing to do with that dude. That's what that dude has to say. We are our own people. We do this, we do that. Well, it's the same thing with how I look at on a continent. If a leader says something, yeah, we're going to call them out. We're not going to just be quiet about it. We're going to call them out. We're going to say, hey, you're wrong. You're misinformed. Obviously, you're ignorant in a lot of ways with this because you don't even understand history. We're going to call them out, and then we're going to move on. We're not going to sit up here and just be harping a dead horse, because I rather give my energy to fighting the white supremacists and then also dealing with the bootlicks in our community, right? But today, I'm pretty, like you said, I'm pretty sure he got a little wake-up call dealing with old Jim Crow Joe. And then what the recent thing that Jim Crow Joe, I know you reported on it, but the thing he recently did to hurt Ethiopia economically, Jim Crow Joe. Well, what is that again?
He's trying to kick out Ethiopia from AGOA. It was created to help sub-Saharan African countries with trading. So it's supposed to give you, free trade. So Ethiopia was part of that list. So he's trying to kick out Ethiopia starting January 2022 from AGOA, which means that it is going to impact over 1.1 million Ethiopians, because directly or indirectly they are getting money from that industry, which is an industrial park found in Awasa, and literally he is impacting 1.1 million Ethiopian workers, most of which are single mothers that are providing for their family members. So basically, they gave us this crumb, and when people started working, and now Ethiopia's economy is kind of slightly benefiting from it. When Ethiopia refused, the same prime minister we're talking about refused to bow down to what they want from him. They want to take that away from us so that it impacts us. That's what Jim Crow Joe is trying to do right now as we speak.
Yeah, so see, that's what I'm talking about. So Jim Crow Joe is trying to start a major civil war in Ethiopia. On top of that, he's trying to kick Ethiopia out of this, basically hurt them economically. Then on top of that, Jim Crow Joe put sanctions on Ethiopia and sanctions on Eritrea, and still have got the sanctions on Zimbabwe as well, right? So when she said that Jim Crow Joe has done a lot more to harm Africa than Trump has ever did, that is the truth. Then, like you say, trying to bring in all this LGBT and fighting with Ghana about what they should be doing with that situation and all of that. So, like I said, he's getting a thorough education in the white supremacists. Like I said, we ain't nobody's problem. We're not trying to harm the Ethiopian economy at all. No, we're not trying to do that. But that's who the real enemy is. It's the white supremacists. And when people say, because I'm pretty sure you've seen these comments, people say, well, Pan-Africanism, that can't work or whatever. And I'm like, well, you never tried it. It's never been tried. So you can't say something don't work when you never tried. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just cut myself off and relegate myself to the system that's here in Babylon, right? Because that's all you're going to do. If you say, okay, I don't want to deal with nobody else with just my crew here, then we're not in control of America. Let's be real. We don't control the military. We don't control the treasury. We don't control the government. We don't control the police, the DA, the judges. We control nothing. We really don't. I think we got a better shot, me, in my opinion, is we try to join globally with the black people that want to be on the same team with us. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the raccoons who join on the same team. And then let's work together with those people. Because even people in Black America, a lot of them can't be saved. You know that. They all on the Democrat Party, all talking about, they don't want to do for self. They want to work for a white man. Like I said, they got the same, white man, ICE is colder, and the white man's my savior. Well, at least they say a white Democrat here in America. So I don't care about those black folks in America either. So y'all can have that attitude that Pan-Africanism don't work. I really join with the people that want to join with me, no matter what country they come from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's where we at with it, at least over here, right? Juan Gail, have you since you've been, I know you in Kenya and then now you're in Ethiopia now visiting. Do you see more activists? I know some of the prominent activists. Have you met some of them? Because I know you showed in the video some of the people that are really speaking up. Are they doing more of that?
Yes, at this point, you can even say a lot of people are activists, as in just individually, not necessarily in the term itself, but everyone seems to understand it's a war against us. It's a war against us that we didn't understand. We didn't know that it was going on. The exact same thing, what we were saying earlier, because it was so indirect. You see, Philip, there's a beauty in knowing what is happening to you face to face. If you know that's your enemy, it's so much easier to prepare for it, to fight it off, to do what you need to do. But when it is indirectly, or they just send their hands and you just don't see what's happening because they hide it really quickly, or they use your own people, it makes it complicated, it makes it hard, and it takes time for you to understand. But now, thankfully, we're waking up, we're understanding, and everybody is an activist on their own, and they are really trying to use whatever platform they have, whatever connection they have. They're trying to contribute, because, as you know, they stopped the hashtag No More movement from trending. That's how far they went, because they've noticed African Americans, other Black people everywhere in the world, the diaspora community as well as Africans, started supporting Ethiopia with what is going on right now, because they realized it was the US starting the chaos within Ethiopia. So when people started supporting Ethiopians by using hashtag No More, they literally went to Twitter, and Twitter discontinued that hashtag. So now even if you tweet that, it won't be on the trending list. That's how far they're going to silence the people. So as much as it suck being going through what we're going through as Ethiopians, we also are waking up. It's a bittersweet kind of situation, and everyone, I can tell you, not everyone, okay, most people are activists, and they are speaking up, and they are speaking up against the actual enemy. Before, you see, since they do something and hide their hands, people used to believe that it's their brothers, or if it's their sister that is up north that's starting something, when in reality it was the Western world doing what they need to do, paying or equipping those people that are willing to sell out their own community, using them to get into power and manipulate that region. Up until now, a lot of people didn't know. And now that we have that information, people are saying no more. People are saying we're not going to accept this lie anymore, and we're going to unite whatever it takes. And even the spirit of Pan-Africanism, you will see it everywhere. People are they want to connect with the diaspora. They want to help, and that's like a true coming. It's like you can tell it's coming from the heart, because sometimes you have to go through some trauma, or somebody needs to force you into feeling this for you to really understand somebody's pain. Not everyone is an empath, right? So people are really they want to connect, and they want to help everyone, and we get out of this mess that we are in because we didn't know who the true enemy is.
Yeah, right. I definitely hear you 100%. Like, well, for me, you know, we've always talked about how the white supremacists have that global influence, how the white supremacists have used, you know, religion to go in and just be spies, you know, that way to cause dissension and all of that. And one thing they like to do is come in our mix. I mean, even on the internet, they'll troll, they'll, you know, get accounts with a black face. You know, they may get an account that they'll saying they're TPLF, and they could be, you know, a government troll. They had a whole news story about government trolls, right? For me and how I look at people, like I said, I've been to the Tigray region. They my brothers and sisters. I've been to Addis Ababa. They my brothers and sisters. They were all welcomed us in. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Even the sister from Tigray that came to my house a few weeks ago, and we were just having this conversation about what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And I was just feeling what she was saying. You know, and I just say for me, I said just how I feel in the area of the spirit of Pan-Africanism. I said nobody wins in any kind of black civil war. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody just needs to, okay, I understand it could be difference in culture, X, Y, Z. That's fixed the problems and issues in the country, but understand Jim Crow Joe and the Western powers are trying to break y'all. And if you fighting each other, then they go win. You know what I'm saying? They're going to win. So I'm glad the people are finally waking up and saying, wait a minute, the white supremacist is the problem. You know what I'm saying? Jim Crow Joe in his administration. Now, only thing I'm saying is, I don't know, I heard the U.S. Embassy say, oh, well, you know, American citizens, they need to get out of Ethiopia, but you're saying what's going on the ground. So black folks, you want to go to Ethiopia, you have a great time.
Yep. Even me, I'm an Ethiopian, right? Like when I first heard the news, I was shocked because my parents, my family are living in Ethiopia. So I thought like, and actually, like I thought Ethiopia was burning down. Like that's the information I received. I remember hearing that, and I just immediately called my parents, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, I'm literally listening to the news telling me that like Addis Ababa, which is the capital city of Ethiopia, is just being taken by the rebel group, and they're like, "What?" It's okay, just book your flight, because I was worried even to book my flight, and they're like, everything is okay, just come. So I came here and everything is peaceful. Well, of course, in the northern region where the situation is right now, yes, of course, there is war going on. But other parts of Ethiopia, it's not how they are portraying it to be. It's peaceful, everything, business as usual. The only difference is there's a state of emergency right now. So you get checked. There are checkpoints just so you see everything is okay. And if anything, I felt very comfortable. I felt secure with the way they check everything. They check your bag, they check your car. I was not offended because I thought, okay, they're checking because they're trying to protect me because of all these false alarms that are going on, and the rebels, you know, making statements like they'll blow up Addis or something. So when they did check, it made me feel secure. I'm like, okay, they're doing their job right, so I'm secure, I'm safe where I am. So what you hear on the news is not true. So feel free to come book your flight. And actually there is this discount going on. Our Ethiopian Airlines have this like 30% off if you come here before Ethiopian Christmas. And Ethiopian Christmas is January 7th. So until then, if you want to book, your flight is going to be cheap. Hotels are having like offers because of the diaspora coming back. So you take advantage of that if you want a holiday right now.
Let me respond to a comment, because I got to deal with this, because that's why I told you. So
What are they saying? I can't see.
Here we go. Bro, we've been on this Pan-African stuff for years. People fought for Ethiopia. For them to turn around and feel this, nah, homie. It's one man. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because we should bring it up and address it. Once again, I told y'all, and I will continue to tell y'all, that's that little inner white supremacist that's in you. Just admit that. It's an inner white supremacist. You don't write off white people. You never write them off. You trust them. You depend on them. Probably work for them. You go to their businesses. Everything. You do not act this way with white folk. And white folks have... Listen, he said what he said. You know him well. I don't agree with it. I talk my point. But who's the one shooting us 17 times in the back? He ain't doing it. Who's the one that's jailing black men and putting them in jail 30 and 40 years off of the lie of a white woman? And brothers recently just got let out of jail behind that mess. Is he doing it? Did he the one jail Sandra Bland and kill her in jail? Did he kill George Floyd? Did he do that? Is he the one preventing us from getting reparations? Is he doing it? I mean, let's compare what these folks do us versus what he said. You take more smoke on what he said versus what these people constantly do us here in America. And you yourself here and fight to be around those people too. And that's what I'm telling you. I know you ain't been to Ethiopia because you've been over there. You will know exactly how they treat us when we get there. Because I was told constantly, why don't you come be here with us? Bring all your family and friends. We want you and need you here. Nobody looked at me funny. Nobody said, what the hell he doing here? Nobody. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, that little inner white supremacist in y'all. And it's on the continent too. It is. So it's not just you too. But I'm just saying, man, I mean, like, they get on my nerves. They get on my last nerves. So I'm supposed to write off the whole Ethiopian country. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to write off Ethiopia. I'm going to write off America too. Because there's black folks in America that say some craziness too. I guess I need to write them off. I'm going to write off everybody in the Caribbean. I'm going to write them off too. I'm going to write off everybody, all black people in Latin America. I'm going to write them off too. You go in, no matter where you go, somebody's going to say something you don't agree with and you don't like. Treat the white man like you treat black people. That's what I want you to do. That's my challenge for you. If you're not treating the white man like you treat other black folks, then you got that little white supremacist in you, and you're acting like your bastardized father because the white supremacist taught you to act that way. You didn't teach yourself.
Yeah, and also for the brother that commented that, I feel him. I feel his anger when obviously he's hearing, the prime minister say this. But my only challenge to our brother is try to understand where that perspective came from. Even you, if you didn't, let's say, watch Philip's channel, or you've never been to Africa, you won't have the same mentality. Like sometimes especially like Philip is saying, if we're giving the white man the benefit of the doubt, let's try and understand our brothers and sisters. Let's try and see where they're coming from. If it's the intent is evil, okay, I'll give you that. But if it's just ignorance, what's wrong with trying to understand where they're coming from and try to fix it? Because that's the only way we can have a better future. And we're stronger as a nation, all of us in Africa. In the continent, there's 1.3 billion people, not to mention the 12% that is found in America, in Brazil, in the Caribbean. All of us, when we come together, we're stronger. And that strength is what the others don't want, and we're literally just allowing them to benefit from our division. We're not going to benefit from this division. And or like individually, for example, me personally, I've decided to educate my people as much as I can, because I know they're not coming from a bad place. They just don't know. And once you know, you change your mind, you change your tone. And just imagine if I were to generalize just because someone, for example, I get sometimes DMs that are really bad and they're from African Americans, and they're just, I can't even fathom why they're sending me that. But I don't sit down and say, ooh, that one African American said this, so they all must be the same way. That's not fair. That's just not fair to the people that are fighting for unity, that are fighting just to provide for their family, and they never had hate for me or for other people. So I think we hurt ourselves when we're doing this, because in my opinion, the only person that is going to benefit from this is the white supremacists, and not the community. Because with our unity, trust me, they're the ones that are going to suffer, because they're scared. I saw what was it? I think it's in 2050 or 2060. It shows that for the first time ever, the Caucasian race is going to be less than other races very soon, and their population is dying, and that's a concern for them. Why do you think it's a concern for them? Because they need to be concerned, and they don't want our unity. I'm just gonna say this: let's not generalize. If there are individuals that are mean spirited, okay, so be it. But for the ones that are not aware of what is actually going on the ground, I don't think there's any problem with educating them and moving past it, because we are going to benefit from our unity, in my opinion.
Well, yes, you're 100% right about that. I just know that even in the Bible, when if they want to talk about unification, what did the Lord say at the Tower of Babel? The one thing He said: if they come together as one, there's nothing they can't do. Now, that's the main thing the devil don't want. The devil do not want Black people globally to get together and work with each other. So if the devil don't want that, that's the thing you need to try to do. Like I say, you cannot work with everybody. No, you can't. But the people that's within your particular, sphere of, that think like you, that they want the same things that you want, that's the people you just need to work with. That's what I'm seeking to work with. I'm not trying to deal with everybody. She's talking about letters and emails and all of that. More people that supposed to come from my group, my tribe, has said some of the nastiest things to me, made videos, talk about me, my family, everything else about me. I think I only had maybe one or so African here and there, but it was mostly people that supposed to come from my own group. You know what I'm saying? And half of the stuff I've seen, people say to one girl, be some awesome BS petty stuff, but that comes with the internet, right? People gonna say whatever. What we need to focus on, like I said, it's domestic issues we need to focus on, and then it's international issues we need to focus on as well. Like, I don't know what y'all trying to do, but like what Kelvin said the other day is true. It's gonna come a time, like Jesus said, I'm not gonna be with you here always, and my conversation gonna be totally different when I'm not. I tell you, I'm probably turning the arm and raw. Like, I don't know what y'all still doing over there dealing with them folks. Well, y'all must want to, So, get your act together and unify. Like I said, the brother I interviewed one time was telling me about the plug on how you get the plug on some chocolate. You can't get no plug on no chocolate here. You know what I'm saying? All the chocolate is sourced on the continent of Africa. Y'all women talking about that sell, bundles of hair, and one girl maybe could talk about that. That could be your source if you're the type of person that's selling hair extensions. I seen that was a big thing in Ethiopia. Did you know about that one, girl?
Hair is a big deal, I guess, wherever women are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, bundles, yeah, there you can find in Africa as well. As you said, you just have to look for it.
It's so many plugs out there for business. You want to build a factory in Africa. That is the next manufacturing frontier, because they need the jobs. It won't be as expensive, definitely with the labor. It's so much, the people greatly appreciate you bringing factories and different jobs out there. I mean, it's so much you can do. And everything that Akon said, is right. I'll be honest with you. Akon is right. Whatever you do here in America, go try to do it over there, or even try to get something started over there, and you will see, a return. Like I said, COVID slowed me down because I was supposed to have the office up and running by now, but COVID just shut my stuff down. So now I got to play catch up. So, but it is what it is, right? We still here, thank God. Everybody in the team still here, thank God. So 2022 coming. and we're going to see how all of that works. So we definitely don't want to keep Sister Wangale too long, because I know she probably got to hit the road. I know it's a little late over there in Ethiopia. I know here it's like about 8:05, and over there, what you looking at, 5:05?
Yes, 5:05.
5:05. All
Yes.
right, all
Yeah.
right. So Sister Wangale, before we wrap up, real quick, if you did not donate yet, please donate to our end of year fundraiser. We and make sure you go there and look at the plans for 2022. Look at the plans. We all work hard to make sure that you have the news and information. We stay up late. We burn the midnight oil. We deal with a lot of problems even with these platforms, to not get this out. Do you think they want to see Black people working together from all over the world? Hell no. They don't want to see that. They want us fighting. And we're not going to facilitate that over here. We're going to facilitate unification of Black people. All right? So, Wangale, you want to say your piece before we wrap up?
Okay, I just want to say thank you for having me and giving me a chance to explain to you where some things might come from, and you might not understand it because of a cultural difference. I really appreciate it, and it's been a beautiful journey working with the whole team, with you, and even what the audience don't see behind the scenes. I'm working with great people. I'm just so grateful and thankful for this opportunity, and thank you, fam, for hearing us out and really caring about what happens even on the continent. This shows me and gives me hope, and thank you for watching.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna say something toward the end, but if Wangale, like I said, if you need to go, Wangale, because I know you got your time, and I know you got to get on that road before you get busy. I definitely let you get on. I'm gonna talk to them maybe about 5 minutes or so more, and then I'm gonna get off myself.
Okay, so bye for me.
All right, see you, Wangale.
See you.
All right, Sister Wangale is she got to get on the road. Appreciate Sister Wangale for joining us. Like I said, she dedicated. Where she's at, they didn't have good internet, so the sister had to drive from her place to another location with some good internet just to have this stream. This is the type of people that we have working with us here. People that would do extra things that they know they should not have to do, but they dedicated to make sure the messages get out. So when you do, give to the fundraiser, remember they're dedicated. I thank God for the people I do have, working with us here. Like I said, for me, I always tell y'all this: it's different when you have to pay people certain amounts of money. It's definitely a pressure, at times. I'm not gonna lie, but it's a good pressure. It's not a bad pressure. Because I don't want to, like I said, have my name bad in the streets. When you don't pay people, I don't want those videos coming out, right? So I want to keep people to smile on their face at all times. So, like I always say, just help us do that. One person said something I just saw before I wrap up about dual citizenship. Some of you don't have dual citizenship because you're not wanting it bad enough, and you're not seeking to get it. Kellen, he just now got his citizenship in Sierra Leone. Kellen just got it. Him and his children. His wife, she couldn't get it because she has a citizenship somewhere else. Well, she was already a dual citizen. What I'm saying is, if Kellen got it, and Kellen was born and raised here in America, Dinas Demir, he got his citizenship, right? Dinas Demir had took people with him. They all got their citizenship. So if other people are getting their citizenship, then what's the issue about dual citizenship? And then also, I kept telling y'all, if you want dual citizenship that bad, then the easiest way to get it is just to go marry a brother or sister from over there, and then hang out a little while over there, and then you'll get your dual citizenship. I mean, I'm just saying that's the easiest way to get it. Now, if you don't want to marry somebody from over there for whatever the reason, or whatever, I don't want to get into that relationship conversation. I could really go there. But this ain't the channel for it. I would say there is citizenship by DNA. Like if you go through African ancestry and it links you back to Sierra Leone, that's how people are getting their citizenship. I'm going to look into that myself because on my, at least on my mom's side, it linked us back to Guinea-Bissau. Well, Guinea-Bissau has citizenship by DNA also. Just me doing my own research. There's quite a few African countries in West Africa that's doing citizenship by DNA. Understand? If you want citizenship bad enough, go get it. If you not even citizenship, even if you can get a permanent residency, that's good. That's even good, better enough. Well, I mean, I'll take permanent residency in every African nation if I can get it. If you want it bad enough, you'll go get it. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. Nobody's gonna hand you anything. In America, they don't hand you anything when it comes to citizenships, residency, green card. They don't hand you anything. So if you're expecting that you're going to walk into a country and they're going to roll out the red carpet for you and say, oh, you're here. Here's a passport. That's not the way that works. It don't work like that in no civilized country at all. So if it don't work in all the other countries, it's not going to work there either. So, we need to, if you want citizenship, research and go get it. Trust me, you can get it. I think the Blantons, I think either they got their residency or no. I think they got a citizenship by now, but they got something. I know. They not on no visa. Not at all. What did they do? They took their time being over there and applied themselves, and they got what they needed. So all that, why I ain't got citizenship, well, go get it. Put it on 2022. Say, I'm going to go seek a citizenship. I'm going to go get it. Like I said, or you want to go meet a brother or sister from whatever country you want to go meet a brother or sister in. I can't speak on women, but I can speak on the men, right? Some of you brothers that are always striking out, talking about, you can't deal with the modern females and everything here in America. Go to the African continent. That's a totally different situation. And you can marry somebody and get your citizenship. That's what you want to do. I'm just saying. Just saying. But anyway, I'm looking at something. Let's see. I'm gonna block this person myself because it's getting on my nerves. Anyway, so yeah, you say some people always want handouts. Well, the world don't work that way. Ain't nobody handing you anything, and the white man handing you something, he got rules for him to hand you things. Like you got to be in poverty to get certain things. I don't want that kind of handout. I don't want it. You can keep it if I got to be in poverty. Hell no. No. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, think about it. If you want something out of life, you got to go get it. Nobody's going to hand you anything. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you, no matter what your situation is. If you want things out of life, go get it. Be a go-getter, especially the men. The sad part is I see more women that's go-getters than some of these men. That's the messed up part. That is truly messed up. So apply yourself, go get whatever you want. You want citizenship, go get it. But anyway, thank you for listening. Join my podcast on the Philip Scout Audio Experience for 9 a.m. We have a podcast be coming up for y'all 9 a.m. And then you could circle back at 11 a.m. And once you listen to that podcast, and you'll know why you need to circle back to this channel for 11 a.m. But I'm going to end up going to bed here. I've been up all night trying to work and do different things I need to do for the platform. But thank you for listening, and definitely see you on the next one.